Meeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. So, which Bowmore is the right one? 15, 12, 18? I don't have the 18 here today. But out of the three, which is the one to go for? Which is your personal favorite? Which is my personal favorite? We'll get to that in a second. But I haven't had one of these bottles in a very long time. It's probably been a number of years since I had a Bowmore. I borrowed the number 12. This is my brother-in-law's. But I've always been a fan of the 15. So I usually like to always have a couple peaty scotches, Isla scotches on hand. Usually the go-tos for me are a Lafroig, one of the whiskeys in the vault that are saved for a rainy day is a Lafroig 18. I think that's one of my favorite scotches of all time, in the top 3 or the top 5, definitely. But as for regular ones, either just like a Lafroig 10 sherry or a Lafroig quarter cask or just a regular 10, those are good. But I usually keep coming back to like a Lagavulin 16 or Bowmore 15. And I think I mentioned it on this channel before. I think the 15 to 18 is usually the sweet spot when it comes to scotches. Anything less, usually you can get, there are definitely great 12 years, but I find through exclusive testing and years of self-education, and both me and some of my other friends, including my cousin, agrees with me on this, we determined that we find like 15 and 18-year-old scotch is the best. Anything after that, you kind of start to go into the area of diminishing returns, where it just costs too much, and what you get isn't always worth it, or not worth it at all. So that's why I figured it was time to pick up another 15-year-old Bowmore. It is my favorite out of the 3, and yes, I'm telling you that now, so you can go ahead and turn the video off and go skip to the next video on your hit list. Or you can keep watching, and we'll talk just briefly about what the notes are, a little bit here and there. But I like the 15 the most. I like it more than the 18. I know that kind of contradicts what maybe you think I just said, but for myself, I found the 18 a little bit too much in the raisins and in the dried fruit for what I like. But when we're comparing these two, I do like the 15 more. And again, like I was saying, when it comes to the smoky scotches, this is one of the core bottles I always like to have along with the Lagavulin 16, which for some reason right now, in late 22, early 2023, it seems like it's either really difficult to get or it's sold out. I don't imagine they discontinued it, because the Lagavulin 16 is like a core example. It's been around forever. It's always around, but I can't find it anywhere. So I don't know, maybe we might have to go try and find something new. But for the 15, let's get into this really quickly here. Aged 15 years, an exquisite sherry cask finish that develops layers of rich peat smoked complexity at 15 years old. Bowmore is the home to the world's oldest Scotch maltration warehouse, the legendary No. 1 vaults. Some of the world's most coveted single malts have been meticulously matured here, steeped in more than 230 years of heritage. Matured in the finest casks. Matured first in bourbon barrels, then Oloroso casks. Our 15-year-old is our finest example of a sherry finish. Then it goes on to talk about how it has the rich, deep color reflected in its name. Discovered delicious dark chocolate, sun-dried fruits, a wisp of Isla peat smoke, cedar wood, and toffee. The finish is warming, robust, and complex with just a hint of sherry tannins. Now when you compare that to the 12, and we can just, if you can see the color difference there, especially maybe against my off-white shirt. The Bowmore 15 definitely a little bit more red, because of course the sherry Oloroso casks versus this one is going to be a little bit more of that amber straw color. This one don't have the box. Actually, the box might be in the other room. Our signature distillery style of peat smoke, citrus, and vanilla, perfectly balanced. So just hold that thought. See if I got the box here. Ah, he did bring over the box. So I do have it right there. So what do we got? We've got our signature, so that's the same thing I already read. So on the back, blah, blah, blah. 12 years old, is complex and perfectly balanced. Subtle lemon, sweet heather honey complement the trademark peat smoke of Bowmore, leading to a delicious, long, and mellow finish. Open the door to a story of deeper character. Well said. So let's get into it, shall we? I mean, it's kind of more like the middle of the day. So what better for an afternoon sip of scotch than a punch in the face Isla? Hey, how about that for a middle of the day aperitif? Okay, so again, we got the two colors as mentioned, the rich red and the straw. Got that. And let's see how we got on the palate or on the nose here. Can definitely smell that nice sherryness. It doesn't smell anything like a sherry bomb, nothing like that. Not like a like an Abaloo or sherry cask or a Dalmore, but it's got that nice balance of peatiness of the peat, the smoke, maybe just a little bit of that sea spray or that seaweed, but it's like it's mixed in with that sherry, so it's very well balanced, complements each other very well on the nose. And that's one of the reasons why I like this Bowmore 15 is because it's so well balanced. It's not like a Lafroig that's really gonna mess you up if you're not expecting it or if you can't handle the peatiness. This is kind of like a nice overall 50-50 mix of both sherry, if that's kind of like what you're going for or what you're used to. It's a good bottle to introduce you to smoky scotches, let's put it that way. Because even I find the Lagavulin as good as that. To me, that's kind of the next step up. This is maybe more, a Bowmore is maybe something where you should start. Or maybe something else. But for maybe like a Brook Laddie, the original Laddie, the baby blue bottle, that might be a good starting point too. Okay, so now on the nose for this one, on the 12. Yeah, definitely no sherry at all, which I mean is expected. Maybe just a little bit of orange brine, orange peel, some zest, mixed with maybe just a little bit of grass. Yeah, subtle lemon. I do smell. Yeah, the more I smell it, the less I smell the orange. I still was getting a little bit of it there, but yeah, I definitely get the lemon, the honey with the peat smoke. This one smells less peaty than the 15, definitely. I'm not really smelling any of the honey, to be honest. Now let's see what the palate has to say. It's a nice dram. It's a nice bottle. Like I don't want to be confused by saying the 15 is my favorite, that I don't like the 12. I don't think I've ever bought a bottle of the 12. Not that it's bad. I just usually kind of go for the 15. I've never had a whole collection of Bowmore all at the same time. When I had the 18 in the house a really long time ago, I don't know if I had all three at the same time. Definitely has a mellow finish. It's very good. It's very nice. It's not too much. You have that lingering taste of peatiness, of smoke on the palate right at the very end, but it's not overwhelming at all. Probably should be having some water in between these, but oh well. Who's got time for water? Yeah, it's It's very similar. It's just got that extra little bit of sherry, which, I mean, a lot of times, I know when I was really starting to get into scotches, I went hardcore on the sherries, and that was all I've really had and liked at the very beginning, probably because it's maybe the easiest to have. I remember I used to go hard on the Macallan 12 sherry cask in that Burgundy box back when it was kind of still around. You know, we're talking 2009, 2010, 2012-ish, you know, around there, back when you could still kind of find them. So this, to me, it's pretty much, and it basically is the same whiskey. It's just that this has, like it says, the final years are spent in those sherry casks, so you're getting that color and that extra little bit of flavor. And I definitely think it's worth a little bit. I got this bottle at, I think it was like $18 off. It was on an amazing sale. I don't know what it is with the Bowmore, especially the 15 here in Manitoba. You can usually find it on some really good sales every once in a while, or getting extra air miles. So maybe it's like that where you live, but here you can usually get some really good deals in the 15 every once in a while. I think now it's up to about $90 or $100 a bottle, but I think I got it for 80 or 85 or something like that. Versus back in the day, it used to be way cheaper, so it was quite the deal before. Like, I remember just being blown away for the type of whiskey you could get for the price. Versus now, you know, thanks to COVID and inflation and all that, it's gone up more. I'm not getting any of that dark chocolate. I do still get the sun-dried fruits with the peatiness. More so, maybe a little bit of the toffee, but to me it's mostly the sun-dried fruits along with the peat and the sherry. To me, it's mostly, you're going to notice the sherry and the peat for sure. Versus this one, it's more so of that, I'm getting the citrusy mixed along with the peat, which kind of sounds gross, kind of sounds disgusting, but it's not that bad. They kind of work. So I would say if you can only get the 12, or you only want to spend to get the 12, that'd be perfectly fine. You're definitely not going to be missing out. I still think I like the 15 the most, just because of that extra little bit of character it has. Especially too, if I have the Lagavulin 16 in the collection like I like to, that's kind of like a little bit more of an extra, like this on steroids. It's more of just that, like, more iodine-y peatiness on the way to a Lafroig, but not quite there. So, I mean, listen, if you want to be an actual collector, you should probably have all three of the Bowmores. They're just that good. Have the 12, the 15, and the 18. I know there are more expensive ones. I think even there's like a 35 and stuff like that. But, like, let's not go crazy right now. Okay, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. That's for a couple years from now when the stocks go to the moon, and then we can actually afford it, if there's a world left by then. But anyway, yeah, just to wrap it up. Sorry, I don't mean to keep beating a dead horse, saying the same thing over and over again. But yeah, if you're just gonna go with one, go with the 15. I highly enjoy it, but the 12 definitely won't let you down. 18 is good, but it's probably, I don't think it's worth the price for what you're getting. And just from my memory, it's mostly going to be in with the dried fruits as well. But that's my synopsis of the Bowmore. Thank you for watching, as always. I appreciate it. Thanks for spending part of your afternoon or your evening or your morning, depending on where in this fine world you're watching from. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks again. Appreciate it.